Okay, and once again, more stuff being discussed about ComicsGate. Um, Following up on the post about Dame Gang at 8,000, which it's beyond that now. I'm not actually sure how far along it is. Actually, we could check that out real quick. It's almost to 9,000. Not quite, but it is close. All right. Low, after defeating the loquacious Aussie Kimosabe and his 100-page The Company Men, along with the venerable Don Chen's Beard Zerker parody, now Dame Gang must surpass Matt Krott's masterful Kyrie, as well as the malcontent veteran Michael Derrick's anal probe action thriller Abductables 2. I backed that one, I think. He had a digital tier, I believe, so I went ahead and backed that. Glad he got that funded. It looked like he wasn't going to initially, but anyway. Still, Dame Gang faces serious challenges and competition for CG Coom dollar in these late nights of ComicsGate. Personally, while it's not my taste, I'm not too harsh on it because it at least offers decent page count. That's true. Contains some elements of aesthetic and conceptual novelty. Also true. Plus, I remember previous far more degenerate, stupid, and lower bang-for-your-buck CG offerings like Super Harem, Little Girl Lethal, and Cash Grab. Well, I mean, Cash Grab, I don't know that we know for sure what that, how much bang that is for your buck, because we haven't seen it yet. And obviously some people are going to say, well, we're never going to see it, but, I think we will. I think it's just going to be ridiculously late. Little Girl Lethal, we're never going to see because that guy is in prison. Super Harem, we've already seen. I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was an interesting, kind of bizarre concept. It's like, I liked the, superpowered women fighting out with Cthulhu type monsters or whatever. I was really kind of disappointed that Winger got butthurt and left, and we're probably never going to see the second part of it. Anyway, there's a video that I'm not going to play for Blue Bombshell 2. Blue Bombshell. It's the first one, right? I think. Launched the other day, Blue Bombshell is the latest entry by Pirate Queen and Sea Dog and Killswitch artist Cliff Halinsky. I always want to say Helsinki when I see that. I don't know. Set in the vein of Keith Giffen's Justice League International, with such, let's say, tribute characters like Purple Beetle and Booster Green. It's like the superheroes you remember, except with their titties falling out. It looks, breasts are always nice to look at. And there's some more there. Arachna, The Adventure Begins by X53 Studio / Mark. I'm not even gonna try. I don't know. We'll just go with X53 Studios. Broke rank with conventional ComicsGate business dogma earlier this year and declined to go on the small stream shilling tour to sell their comic, and instead paid some cosplayer to dress in the heroine's costume and court redditors and other coom aficionados. As a result, it's sitting at $25,000, making it the biggest breakout hit for a debuting creator in ComicsGate 2021, other than Adam Friended, who has his own platform and customer base, and Kenneth Roquefort, a lauded industry professional. I did back that, and I'm not I don't remember for certain how I learned about Arachna. It may have just been like recommended by Indiegogo. You know what I like at the bottom of the screen, when at the bottom of the page where it tells you about other campaigns. That may have been where I saw it. In which case, it's probably may have been that I saw it just because it was doing better already, and the algorithm was showing it to be a success and therefore promoting it more. Anyway, so Lure. I've heard of this one, but I haven't looked at it or anything, so I don't know. Don't know anything about it. A BDSM action thriller, okay, in the style of Eyes Wide Shut, chronicling the tales of chastity, sick, and offering both a dick pic ash can. That sounds really nasty, doesn't it? Dick pic ash can, like, makes me think of some grindhouse horror film where it's like, oh yeah, this, he got his dick chopped off and it's lying in the ashtray. And an A to Z book on fetishes. It is the work of Varian and Lola Grant. Not to be confused with Tug's wife, Ashley Lola Meets Lewis. Huh? With regular sexual libertine geekgasm on streams. Okay, I don't. The husband-wife creative TM of Indie Volt mostly seem to be frequented by fringe non-SJW, non-CG people like Larry Higgins and indie cron creator Pixel Trader. I don't know why they're there, and I don't want to know. Then there's the upcoming Goblin Girl by popular in the CG creator community Dan Art Piers, with this sampling of his specialty, ginormous beach ball spackled breasts, where the nipples shoot out horizontally like some hammerhead shark shit. Okay. Damn. Finally, last but not least, is the daring foray of combining Dark Gift Comics tier art with necrophilia, with the upcoming Of Sex and Monsters, The Dark Tales of Frankensooty by Captain Blood of Kirby. What? Details are, thankfully, scant on this project slated for late 2021, but it is an indicator that there is no particular end for this form of, creative expression within ComicsGate in sight. Wow. It needs to be understood that Dame Gang represents both the future of comics and the future of CG. The new market for comics is selling bad fetish porn to a couple hundred dumb middle-aged guys. Thirsty guys who are willing to pay $46 for a low-quality indie comic, and who are too dumb to know that there is free porn on that thing called the internet, and that there are these things called webcomics doing fetish porn, including giant porn, for a whole lot less than $46 an issue. It's best for everyone that these people have all their money taken away from them. CG is providing a public service. That's one way to look at it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess, well, I don't know, but I would think that potentially the attraction for buying a comic, especially if it's of lower quality, that has, some mild smut in it or whatever, I would think that the attraction there is that you're getting a story, because there's definitely lots of free porn. I don't know how much porn there is, especially that's free, that actually contains a story. I mean, I'm sure there's some, but mostly what you find in the way of totally free porn on the internet is basically just, it's just dirty pics or videos or whatever. There's not really much story to it. Although I've occasionally... Oh, shit. Damn. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I've been up for quite a while. Guess I'm trying to go back to sleep. Anyway, I've thought for a while that, surely there was a market out there for somebody if they wanted to, like, thread the needle between, just manage to do something that has a story, kind of takes itself seriously. I mean, not too seriously, but seriously enough, rather than it just being complete ridiculousness. I mean, you got to admit, there's, apparently lots of people in the porn industry is like, they can hardly keep a straight face when they're doing porn. And it's like, well, I understand, because you're doing porn. It is kind of silly, isn't it? But at the same time, it's like, there probably is a market out there for something that's well made, has a story, has some decent acting in it, but does include actual, sex scenes. And yes, I'm sure everybody'd be like, well, you're talking about Game of Thrones. And it's like, yeah, not really, though, because the thing with Game of Thrones is that it wasn't porn that had a good story. It was a, mostly good story, at least, that had some random nudity thrown in. And the nude stuff really kind of always felt like, this is, I mean, to me, maybe not to everybody, but to me, it always felt like this just doesn't fit. It's distracting, and not in a good way. Like to me, the degree to which they had nudity and whatnot in Game of Thrones, it wasn't some great positive for the show. To me, it was like, what is this? It's like. This is a distraction, and not a good one. It's just weird, because it's like, oh yeah, you've thrown some blatant nudity in the middle of something that I'm taking seriously as a serious drama or whatever, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, here's some boobs, and it's like, okay, I don't know. It just didn't seem to fit to me, is all. I don't, I mean, there was, some of it was fine. You want to show, what's her name, Daenerys, getting into the bath, nude, and it's like, okay, that's fine, that works, because that's what that scene is about. But you have random nudity while you've actually got actors acting and trying to deliver a dramatic performance while there's some nudity right beside them. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't know. Eric Larson is at it again. Who's Eric Larson? This time he's blaming people and claiming that Marvel and DC... Oh, fuck. DC might shut down the newer comic productions. I guess this is the effect of giving up caffeine. Oh, shit. Only said 5 figures a damn gang, Ethan said. Oh my, no, no, no. You put it out there, put up or shut up. I don't know, he's practically seething with butthurt. Which was my position to start. Now, though, with all the salt from various people and calling this porn, I'm rooting for it just because of the overreactions. I mean, in what fucking world is this porn? I guess in the broader sense that they're attractive and drawn in a way that attracts the male gaze. I thought that was part of what was, supposed to be I mean, not necessarily supposed, not necessarily like, oh, it definitely needs to be, there needs to be stuff that caters to the male gaze in all the CG projects. Not necessarily, but that there was no reason not to do that, while the mainstream is busy trying to be like, no, all the women need to be flat-chested and dressed severely, and they need to be kind of mannish and just not attractive. And it's like, why? Because the male gaze is evil. Okay. Okay, well, I just won't buy it then. Said everybody. But contextually, I don't see nudity. I don't see out-and-out sex. I see one gag that apparently someone would be aroused by, question mark, compared to books where, say, a girl powers up through the sex. I don't, you know, I mean, so what? I don't, you know, not really. How about former CG Nurkish Simp Anti-Frog Ethot Sashi? A literal fucking body pillow. I have no idea what that is. Kickstarter campaign of some sort. Really, she's not the only one. There have been several campaigns, I think, that I've seen that have body pillows of, you know, waifu or whatever body pillows, and it's like, I don't know. I don't see the point in that. Well, I take that back. Well, I mean, I don't see the point in that, but I was about to say I don't see the point in body pillows, but I take that back. I do see the point in body pillows. I guess it's because I'm getting too old. I noticed that. I mean, maybe it'd be different if I could, you know, sleep on my back, but because I'm, you know, because I'm rather overweight, that leads to snoring and probably me, you know, stopping breathing during the night, you know, apnea. But so, I always sleep on my side so that I can, you know, breathe. But as I get older, I notice that sleeping on my side, you know, when it's time to get up, feels like my fucking rib cage is compressed. It's like, ugh, damn, what, you know, gotta stretch and straighten things out, and, you know, it's like I feel like I need the arm that's on top. I feel like I need something to, like, suspend it from the ceiling or something. Keep the weight off of, you know, off my chest. Anyway, and the same thing can kind of happen with your, you know, with your hips or whatever, because so I suppose, you know, and I've read plenty of people talking about how, oh, well, the solution to that is stick a pillow between your knees or whatever to, you know, to kind of prop that up. And it's like, well, you kind of need the same thing, don't you, for your, you know, for the arm or something. So maybe a body pillow is the solution to that. Just wrap yourself around it and be like, you know, it's like, I'm nice and supported now. It's funny, when I was younger, it's like I actually had a body pillow. I don't, you know, threw it away or something, I guess. It's like I didn't understand the point of it. It's like, it's just big and in the way. What the fuck? Anyway, back to totally normal and not fetishistic or creepy at all. Well, I don't know. Is it fetishistic? See, the thing is I had it explained to me a really long time ago by a dominatrix, that, not one I knew personally, but there's two terms there. There's something that's a kink and something that's a fetish. A kink is something that, you know, adds spice to your sex life or whatever. It's something it's a take it or leave it thing. A fetish is something that you have to have that involved in your sex some way or other. Like if you have a bondage fetish, then it means, you know, you or your partner, one or the other, has to be tied up or has to have, you know, something, even if it's maybe as simple as like a wristband or something that you can just feel, you know, the constriction. You know, it has to be part of the sex, otherwise you can't get off. That's what the fetish means. Fetish is you gotta have it. It's not optional. It is 100%. This has to be involved, or else you just, you know, you're not completing. You know, you're not completing without that element. So, you know you got a fetish if there's something that in your sex life or your fantasies or whatever is always there. It's like if there's something always there, it's like, oh, that's a fetish. If you try all kinds of different things, but none of them are like a staple or whatever, then those are just kinks. So is it is there anything? Is it a sexual fetish to have this thing? It's like not a body pillow or whatever, or a waifu. Not unless you are incapable of getting off without it. As far as creepy, it's like I wouldn't say creepy. I would just say maybe sad. Maybe sad that you're humping a pillow, but whatever. I mean, though if they made the body pillow 9 feet long, it would probably chill it. Quite possibly, yeah. True, the $80,000 spent on just $4.99 would have disabused anyone that CG Simps are savvy. $4.99 raised $80 grand? Jesus. Odd. How does he do that? It's like, I need to make some shitty comics and really shitty ones and just be like, hey, buy this, and if I can get somebody's stamp of approval, Ethan or somebody, it's like, I'll be set for life. Shit. Whole series of really shitty comics. Like, just raking in the dough, Hell, with it being CG, it's like you just need one monster campaign that raises millions and then never fulfills. And I'll just be like, bye, I'm retiring. Look, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, provide some context. No one should click on Tug's clickbait and give him views. Give us the story and context. Larson. The guy who was a tag-along for the Image crew. Wait a minute, what is this? The views expressed in this tweet do not necessarily represent the views of Image Comics and or its subsidiary and affiliated companies. Okay. That's not how Twitter works. It's still you, an Image owner, saying shit. It doesn't magically relieve you of responsibility for what you fucking say. After digging around on Twitter, Larson's Twitter page is half Trump and half him talking about comics from 30 to 60 years ago. Wow. That he loved but couldn't be made today because of under-talented mouthy cunts like him. I then went and looked at the news sites to get greater context. As I suspected, Cuck Matt, who's that? Just literally ripped off Bounding into comics. Boy, John Trent deserves some major kickbacks for creating Frog, Tug, and Richard's comic content. Below are the tweets in question. Larson's position is obvious and fucking stupid. He, of course, doesn't want you to pirate. It being criminal is laughable. On the piracy debate, there is no debate. It's criminal behavior. People are struggling to make a living, and you're taking what they're creating without giving them compensation. There is no justification. Well, as I've covered many times before, it's like pirate downloads or uploads or whatever the hell, It's like people are pirating your shit. It's like they were never gonna, they're never gonna buy it. If they're reading it just because it's free. So if you give it away for free, then they would have come to you for it. But if you're charging for it, they would not have. So it's like they're taking it because it's free. They were never actually potential customers. The vast majority of them. And some of them might be, but most of them, no. Most of them were never going to buy it. So you haven't actually lost sales. You just think you have. It's just a way for people to complain about how, oh, the reason I'm not doing so well is not because my product's crap. It's because, it's because people are stealing it instead of buying it. It's like, no. They're stealing it because that's the only way that they'd ever read it, because it is crap. There is nothing about that which entitles you to own it. If it's too expensive, don't buy it. Well, they're not. They're not buying it. They're these companies are floundering and failing. That's their own fault, dude. The threat from upstairs is that they'll go to all reprints and stop producing new material. I don't know that anyone's going to miss them. They're doing everything they can to stay alive. If you can't afford it, do without. I'll just finish with this. Eric Larson has no business telling people to do without. Even if they do abstain, that won't improve comic book sales at all. Healthy industries may whine about piracy occasionally, but they don't have have it to this extent. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, for example, don't sweat piracy. That's because the end product is good enough, they usually get sales from it. Maybe instead of talking about Trump and old comics that no matter how much people pirate them still sell well enough to be reprinted, Eric should spend time convincing customers to buy current comics. Note, he's not justifying that these DC and Marvel comics are good. Well, that's impossible, so... oh, and a quick bit of... a quick bit of... what would you call it? Bookkeeping or whatever. A couple of people have commented on my, Loki gender fluid video, which I'll remind you was just me reading a fucking article from Cosmic Book News or wherever the fuck it was that I found that article. That's all it was, guys. It's like I didn't claim to know shit about the mythological Loki, or, well, not much anyway. I've read about him before years ago, but I've forgotten. Or knowing anything about the comics for sure. I didn't know anything about the comics really. Never really read those. But they're complaining basically like I'm an idiot because I should have known that Loki's always been gender fluid. And I was like, he has? It's like, okay, that's news to me. What are we talking about? So I went and looked up the actual Loki, which apparently Disney, there's been some talk now about how fucking Disney's trying to copyright the name or whatever. I guess they're trying to I don't know if it's copyright or trademark, one or the other. It's like they're trying to protect the name, and it's like, but you can't do that. It's from fucking mythology, guys. You can't do that, Disney. Fuck you. You cannot, it's like, I mean, if I suppose at this point we should be happy that that all these companies are Luciferian fuckwads and they're anti-Christian as can be, because if they weren't, they'd probably be like, oh, well, we're going to develop a cartoon or something about Jesus, and then we're going to try to trademark the name Jesus. Oh, man. All right. Anyway, so it does say in here, where the fuck does it say? Loki is the father of Hel, the wolf Fenrir, a world serpent. Loki, in the form of a mare, was impregnated by the stallion, whatever the fuck, and gave birth to the eight-legged horse Sleipnir. So apparently he is. Apparently he was, I guess, gender fluid or sex fluid or whatever the fuck. Of course, he's a shapeshifter. I was pretty sure I knew that. But anyway, so he turned into a female horse, took some, horse cock, and birthed Odin's steed. Odin's eight-legged horse that he rides on. It's like, okay, that quite the imagination that those Norsemen had. Fucking weird. All right. All right. Until the next one.
Oh my.